What is up, everybody? My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed, all about pressure washing. And we have the Core 4 with us today. We're going to be talking about things that'll keep you broke forever. Obviously, something that you don't want to happen. So what's up, you guys?
What up?
Sure. This is one of our favorite. I think we love talking about things that'll keep people poor. You know what I mean?
I like being poor. I don't want
Said no one ever.
with my I don't want to make a lot of money because it'll throw me into that tax bracket.
That's
More
right.
money, more problems.
That's right. It ain't really good. You know, them rich people, they ain't good folks anyway. You don't need more money.
Now you
They
want to stay.
probably screwed somebody over to get it.
That's right.
Yeah, Mike's a prime example of being humble. Not.
That must be opposite day.
It's Pride Month, so I'm
You
very
should be
proud.
proud of it.
I'm very proud.
Very proud.
It might as well be opposite day. All right, we do want to tell you guys about Washcon. We're doing another Washcon in 78 days and 7 hours. It will be in Roanoke, Alabama, and you can meet the Core 4 in person. And we're actually doing this one a little bit different. So when you get the tickets, you're actually going to get the video version of the last Washcon. So you get all of our presentations. You can watch them on your own time. And you guys are going to come to the event and sit down with us in person, face to face, ask us your questions. We're going to dive deep into your business. We limited the number of tickets. The tickets are way more limited than what they typically are, but we're going to do 2 days of VIP roundtable where it's going to be pretty much one-on-one with us asking your questions. So if you want to check it out, it's the first link in the comment section description. You guys want to add anything else about Washcon?
Hey, it's going to be a little different, but what we found is a lot of the guys that have come to the previous ones, they really benefited from the second day. So that's kind of why we're doing this. You'll get to watch everything that happened on the first day, which is the general training. It's still a lot of good info, but then the second days were a lot of, I guess a lot of ground gets gained on the second day. So that's kind of the reasoning behind that. We always sell the VIP stuff sells quicker than the regular. So the market's telling us what it wants, and we're just going to make sure we give you guys what you want.
Absolutely. And sometimes that first day is a little bit of a fire hose or whatever, fire hydrant hose. I know Aaron likes to use that analogy, but this way you guys can watch it on your own time. You can watch one a day for 4 days. You can break it down. You can take notes. You can literally bring the notes from what we talked about at the previous WashCon to this one, sit down and ask us in person. So I think it's just going to be better for a lot of people.
Let's run through kind of briefly what everybody's going to be talking about. I think that's crucial. So Justin, kind of share with them a little bit about what you're going to be teaching on
Absolutely.
in
So
that
you guys,
training and, elaborating on the second day.
right. So you guys are going to learn about my Facebook ad strategy, basically how I leverage social media in order to make money online. And you guys are going to learn about how we go viral with ads and basically attract a lot of customers that way. This Facebook ad strategy can basically pay for the ticket of the whole event. We've had guys start running the Facebook ad strategy, immediately start landing, 2,500, 5,000, 10,000, all the way up to Chris Riley landed, I think, $25,000 in jobs in about a week after WashCon running my Facebook ad strategy. So I'm going to teach you guys the Facebook ad strategies that really help me build my business. And day 2, we can kind of dive deep. I'll actually look at your page. If you want to try to recreate one of the ads, we can do some consultations with regards to ads, what your page looks like, the content you're building on your page, and just really dive deep into the stuff that you're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So my portion of the training is all about SEO. So for those of the guys who don't know me and haven't seen us on this call, I know we got some new faces in here. That's what I do. I do SEO, Google marketing, which is really a critical piece to your business when it comes to local business. Really, that's what I specialize in, is local Google SEO, ranking and getting tons of free leads from Google. So that's what I've been known for. I rank all of my sites. I think we probably 4 or 5x the website revenue for Southeast Soft Wash with these same techniques online, the online revenue. And so I'm going to be sharing with you some content strategies, some things that I implement all the time when it comes to your Google SEO, to where you can look and be perceived as a global expert, and therefore locally you will rank number 1, number 2, and you'll be able to crush and get tons of free leads on Google. So let's make it simple.
Beautiful. Cody or Mike, which one of y'all wants to go next?
Age
We'll go Cody. Since you're next in the line.
Yeah, that'll work. We're going to talk a lot about equipment. That's what I do. We got the most equipment out the door every year than anybody else. We'll talk about a lot of chem stuff. I want to make it clear that it's not really a pitch for equipment. We have guys every time that'll order a rig while they're here. That's fine, but it's not. We're not here to pitch you equipment. We're just talking about like what you want, why you want it, what works, where to spend a little money, where to maybe not, depending on what you're going to do with the equipment. We're going to talk a lot about chems. We've got an extensive, that's backwards. We got an extensive lineup of chems that we're always rolling out new stuff, some of the best stuff in the business, and safety, a little bit of safety training and systems and stuff like that. Cause we're doing, we'll do maybe 10 million this year. We'll be right around 10 million. So there's just some me and Mike talk about this a lot, is we kind of jive on that, the systems part of the business, which is what I get passionate about, because you don't have all the time in the world. So if you can implement a thing and it unlocks a whole bunch of time for you, that's a big deal for me. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Beautiful. Mike, what you going to do?
Yeah. So essentially what I kind of focus on is the entire marketing funnel, from fresh startups to, established businesses, the things that actually move the needle, the things that you can implement like immediately that will get the phone ringing, that are going to generate the traffic that you need, because we all know that lead flow equals cash flow, and that's what makes a business successful. So I focus a lot on the marketing. We talk about some of the remote quoting, some of the ways that we do that, utilizing technology in our business, just like Cody said, systems, operational things that allow us to pull out of the business a little bit. I mean, you still have to have your foot in order to understand what's going on and run it efficiently. I get so tired of these, people on YouTube and everywhere else are saying, I'm going to teach you how to, become the CEO and never have to spend any time on the business. Well, I've never met a CEO that doesn't spend time on the business. He's not a CEO very long. They oust him. So we're going to talk about the systems implemented that allow you to get some of your time back so you can focus on the things that actually move the needle in your business. And then we talk about, I talk quite a bit about the Amazon mentality, and how, as a small service business, you are able to transform that into what your customers demand. And that is an instant satisfaction that they can get from nobody else, because you've cornered the market on that. You were the first to answer your phone. You're the first to pop up on Google. You're the first one to show up and get the job done. So we address all kinds of things like that. And then, if we have time, then we can talk about scalability, and how to grow your business, making sure that, even if you're just starting out, what you need to be thinking about, if scaling is part of your focus, the long-term goal, is you need to be searching for your replacement now. And you need to be thinking about firing yourself as the guy that's out there doing the work, if that's the direction that you want to take. So we're going to focus on some of those things too, and I can help lead you guys down the right path there.
Excellent. We did have a question. Someone asked, Frankie asked, what's the price for the event? So we'll go ahead and take a look at that real quick. We have a bunch of different pricing options in here depending on what you guys want to do. So like we talked about, what we're talking about now is the VIP roundtable. As we mentioned, you do get the virtual event when you sign up for the VIP roundtable. However, if you guys can't make it, or you don't want to meet in person or whatever, you can also get the virtual event. It's over 6 hours. It's all of our presentations on all the things that we just spoke about. And if you really want to get something really special, you can check out the Wash Rescue as well. Link for this is going to be in the comment section and description, or you can go to, what is it, Mike? Washcon.com? Is that what it is?
Watchconlive.com.
Washconlive.com for tickets. So anyway, check it out. It'll be in the comment section and the description. 78 days. We can't wait to see you guys there. But we'll go ahead and start jamming on the topic of today's video, things that'll keep you broke forever. The first one is training. We have 5 things. Cody came up with them. They are in alliteration, so they all do start with T. If you guys can guess them ahead of time.
That's a Cody Yarbrough move right there.
Dynamite de Grisha. Mud Mayday.
Cody, why is training going to keep people broke forever, though?
Man, because you don't know what you don't know. And look, it's pressure washing, okay? So you don't need a PhD in it or anything. But I can tell you guys, I've been in the game on my own since 2004, which was 11th grade of high school, as a kid with dad, and a lot of stuff that when we got into the industry and went full time, I've got dust all over my laptop. I found out we didn't know like simple things because we're in the middle of nowhere, like literally in the middle of nowhere. So like I'll give you an example. I did not know what a high pressure ball valve was until about 2017, and helped a guy that's about an hour west of here on Alexander City, Lake Martin. Really beautiful lake. He's a cop, local guy, kind of a buddy. And he had a big job. And he was like, hey, y'all come help me wash this apartment complex. So we go over there and he's got a high pressure ball valve and he's rinsing. I was like, what that little thing right there you got is? So just simple training, whether it's, look, come to an event, take some how to wash is a good option. Online training is killer. But if you don't have training, like how would you know, right? So I'm going to be putting both of my sales guys through some advanced training this year, some probably online, may send them to an event. We practice what we preach, guys. We don't just tell you guys to come to our events. We go to events. Like we pay thousands and thousands of dollars because I've got two pretty good sales guys, but they're just good guys. And I've got to make them into killer sales guys. And so I want to do that for them. It's a good skill that they'll always have in their back pocket. But how are you going to get the info without taking some training? Like, it's so weird to me that in every other facet of business, or people have no problem with sending their kid to Auburn University, right, for 4 years, or 2 years at Southern Union and 2 years at Auburn. That's how we do it around here because we broke. So we'll saddle up for $80,000 of debt to go to Auburn to come out and do nothing and not ever say anything about it. But if you talk about spending $2,500 to learn how to, maybe $2,500 over the course of a year to really learn how to pressure wash correctly, well, dude, that's like one job. It's like we make that in a day or half a day, and it's also probably less than one insurance claim. So it's a super good investment to take training. And the cool thing about our industry is you're not going to need ongoing training really, unless you just want to hang out. We've got guys that'll be at this event that are vendors of ours. They will learn nothing at the event. They're simply there to network. They know everything. But that initial first year or two, you're going to learn it one way or the other. And I would prefer to buy that information instead of go through, mistakes myself and have to pay it that way. So training is a big deal no matter what you're doing.
Right. I do want to add a point onto this is like, the real question is, how fast do you want to go from 0 to 100K? Do you want to go from 0 to 100K in a year or two, or do you want to go from 0 to 100K in 5 or 6 years? Because that's essentially the difference. When you combine all these pieces, when you combine the marketing with myself and Aaron, when you combine just the washing and all those principles with Cody and Mike's automation systems, you can take your business and basically push yourself forward years and years and years ahead of your competition. Or you can hang out and you could do like Boxing 147 says here and says, that's how you learn, by doing it and making mistakes. That's how you learn. Don't need to pay for it. Just do it and learn and make a mistake.
Yeah, you can do it like that. You can, my boys are getting their learner's permit today. They're taking training, and I'm going to put them in a parking lot, and I'm going to probably hit them a few times, and they'll figure it out. Or I can throw them the keys to Emily's $135,000 Lexus and say, well, you'll learn by making mistakes. Now, watch out for that power puck. Yeah, you can learn it that way, but you can also be dumb. So it's up to you, man. You do it.
The interesting thing is, like, and I can only speak for my segment of the training, is that I teach on stuff that they actually don't know to Google.
Right.
Like, because if that's the rebuttal for some guys, it's so funny, man. Guys, it's like the college is so normal for people to send their kids to. Everybody knows, go to college, this and that. But when it comes to my segment of Google, I will teach you things that you didn't know to search for.
Yeah.
You actually don't know the language to search for. So you're like, well, I'll just get the training. It's like, no, you won't, because you don't even know what it is. You don't know it exists. And so that's what they would call the knowledge gap, or I would call it cognitive dissonance. That's what you have to, and we're always addressing with ourselves. I practice what I preach there. I probably spend a minimum of $6,000 a year in a mastermind group, and I'm looking to spend more. And it was $6,000 a check just to get to pay another $6,000 a year. But I'm surrounded by guys who are successful. I'm surrounded by guys who all have money. They all have businesses. I learned about foundations and charities last night, sitting with this millionaire buddy of mine, talking about the advantages of starting a foundation. And he just basically walked me through it. Do you realize how far I could try to travel and go and YouTube? And believe me, YouTubing, it didn't work for me because I tried that and they gave me nothing. So there's just certain things that you have to sit with an expert with and have them address your exact situation at where you are in the game and help you understand the next 3 to 5 most effective steps, right? Because I was talking to this gentleman, he was like, some of this stuff is only for guys who have, 50 million in the bank or 100 million in the bank. And I was like, well, I don't need to know that. I'm a little further down here. I'm getting my entrepreneurial journey started in this regard. I need to know the next 3 to 5 steps of where I need to put my current money to where I can get to that point. So it's really, that's what the, Washcon is. It's very much catered to where you are and what the next most effective steps are. That's why I think the training is so important.
So let's talk about changing our mindset on this too. So we could think of Washcon from the perspective of how much does it cost to get a ticket. Instead, let's think about the opportunity cost of not going and not learning the information. Last year, we landed a $40,000 hospital cleaning with the information that Aaron is going to teach you, because Aaron runs the website. He hooked it up. We got a $40,000 hospital lead. My Facebook ad strategy, we've landed probably 20, 30,000 just in commercial jobs over the past year. So you're talking about a $60,000 or $70,000 opportunity cost by not going, by not being presented with the information, by not being, getting it in front of you. So instead of thinking about, okay, how much is the ticket? Well, the ticket's probably $1,000. It's probably $2,000. What is the opportunity cost? What am I missing out on by the jobs that I could land by going? And that could be 60, 70, 100. We have people that do, $250,000 a year pressure washing. We have guys that have come like 3 years in a row to WashCon. So it's like, and they're still coming. They want to come again because
we got guys making $1 million a year still coming.
Right.
Mike Turman, Elijah will do $500,000 this year. He'll be there. He wants to come again.
He was on the other day with his family, just riding on the boat.
Riding on the boat, dude. I remember when that dude first got started, man. Like, it's wild to see the growth in some of these guys who really plug in and, how far they go.
So what's the opportunity cost of you not investing in yourself and investing in your business and taking the time to come and meet with us and learn this information? That's kind of the context you should probably be thinking within. Mike, you want to add anything?
I was just going to say that, pride is what I think limits so many people on what they can achieve, how far they can take things, right? Because they feel like they can only do things themselves, right? That if they don't do it the hard way, if they don't, the school of hard knocks, if they don't get their knuckles bloody and they're sweating every single day, right? There is a need for that without a doubt. But there is also a need for elevating yourself intellectually with your knowledge, with your skill set, right? And not your skill set on the ground in the field, your skill set in the office, your skill set in the marketing department, in your systems, in analyzing your data so you can make smart decisions. These are the things that are going to set those apart from the guys that are just going to be doing this, washing for the rest of their lives. Guys like Mike Turman, guys like Elijah, and there's a handful of others, Ashley Westfall, Ben Wilson. These are people that have taken, what some might say is menial labor and turned it into a little mini empire for their families and themselves. And it's something that people with too much pride are never going to be able to see, because they think that they have to do it themselves. They're too prideful to spend a little bit of money investing in themselves, investing in education, right? I see it and I hear it all the time that, oh, it's a scam. You guys are just selling the idea of success. And it's not an idea. I mean, these are facts. If you implement the things that we're going to teach you, the things that we show you, you will have success. And we've got a proven track record, not only with our own businesses, but those that have invested in themselves to listen and to do the things that we're saying you guys need to do. So that's all I wanted to add.
Boom. I love it. We'll get into the next point, and that is tools. Cody, how can tools keep you broke forever?
Well, there's kind of two ways to look at that. A lot of us kind of guys, blue collar guys that grew up like I did, we just love tools. So if you're not thinking about it correctly, you'll just spend like stupid money on tools, and there's really no need to just keep doing that. But buying the correct tools can make you a ton of money, a stupidly large amount of money. The industry is really evolving rapidly. We're proud to be a part of that. So having the right gizmo, that's what I'm sitting here working on. I'm playing with some circuitry stuff because we're making a wash watch. So this will be able to control your smart stream from a rechargeable, wearable, an Internet of Things, waterproof, hands-free. So is that going to make you another million? No, but it is convenient, and it will probably make you some thousands a year in not walking back and forth to trucks. You can do more jobs per day. You might get in another couple jobs a week with, something. We've already got a remote control, but I'm trying to make it cooler. So not having the right tools, I've watched my dad use a big wrench as a hammer a lot of times, but there's nothing quite like having the right tool for the job. And this stuff is moving so quickly. Mike's got one of our trailers. He can kind of tell you that having the correct things versus not, it's the difference between doing one job a day and being able to do 4 or 5 jobs a day. So tools, it's a double-edged sword.
Yep. And I would also say that buying the right tools at the right time is equally as important as having the right tools in your tool belt, so you can be out there being as efficient as possible. And what I mean by that is I see a lot of guys that get really, really, really caught up in the equipment, right? Mm-hmm. And while equipment is unbelievably important, having super equipment makes you that much better. It's when and where you're spending your money, in my opinion, which at least at the beginning of your business, because once you start doing these things, you're going to start making a lot of money, and then it doesn't become as big an issue on, spending a little bit of money to upgrade or do these things. But when you're first starting out, if you can, obviously it's great. Go get an 8-gallon per minute machine, go buy a skid, from Cody, get everything that you need. And then what I see is these guys, they go out and they buy the big F-250 and they do the wrap and they do all these things. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's cool. You're now significantly in debt for the most part, because I don't think a lot of people are probably, really cash heavy and able to go and spend, $100K on all this stuff right out of the gate. So I would say you got, $10,000 or whatever, $8,000 for a truck wrap. I don't even know what a truck wrap costs. Is that money going to make you any more money? Yeah, a couple people might see your truck and say, hey, I'm going to call them. Or take that money that you would spend there and invest that in your marketing, in your ad budget, right? To acquire customers. And then it gets back to understanding your business, understanding what your acquisition costs are, right? How much does it cost you to get a customer? How many customers can you gain from that $10,000 that you're going to spend on the marketing? I would assure you it's a lot more than what you're going to gain from a truck wrap or, whatever it is. So I think buying the right tools at the right time is something that we all need to be aware of at every point in our career, right? I think it's important.
Absolutely. Completely agree. Aaron, you want to touch on tools at all?
I don't buy tools.
Unless it's a damn heated jacket with a damn what was that?
All I need is a box of cigars and a lighter. That's the only tools I need. No. I think there's a massive infatuation with tools to where, and it is a blue collar industry, and I guess that's kind of been my tear on the subject, is because I come from that world. My dad's owned an auto shop for over 40 years at this point. And I grew up there. My summers were spent there. It was something that, I kind of vowed that I would never do that. That's how much I was around it. And I was like, I gotta do something different. And so I saw, the infatuation. The weird thing about, auto repair versus pressure washing is that every car that comes in has a different problem. And it's a different make, and it's a different model, and it's a different, layout of how everything is done. Usually, there's so many different. So my dad has over $100,000 worth of tools, probably 40,000 in Snap-on. And so that breeds this infatuation for us for the tools. That's what it does. It's like, I'm going to buy this equipment. I'm going to buy the best. And look, the best will keep you going. But really, you need to turn your eyes upon learning the things you don't know, which is how to close customers, how to get them in the door in mass and get their money out of their pocket and into your pocket by offering massive value. These are things that are usually hard for a blue collar guy. And for the aware guys, the guys that we have come through who I know grew up like me, I would say probably Elijah's like this. We got a few different guys who are definitely come from blue collar backgrounds, but they're aware of the gap. They're aware of what they don't know. And that's why they come to learn that. So you got to curb your infatuation with just gathering shit. Okay. Because I will tell you, if you do not dial in the marketing, that rig will sit in your driveway and it'll be posted on Facebook Marketplace in a month. Okay. So you really need to understand your knowledge gap here and say, you know what? I do need to learn the marketing. I do need to learn that. And look, the tools are important, but you got to pair it. They're like two superpowers. You got to pair them together for it to work. It's a catalyst situation. So don't get infatuated, but I think that's my take on tools.
Boom. Andrew just asked, when is the next Washcon? The next Washcon is in 78 days at Southeast Softwash headquarters. You guys can meet the Core 4 in person. Ask us all of the most pertinent questions to your business or other questions, whatever you got. Southeast Softwash, 78 days, September 9th, 8th, and 9th. So check it out. First link in the comment section and the description for tickets. The next one is technology. A lot of people who are not up to adopting new technology will stay broke forever. I think we can all agree upon that. Aaron, me and you are the ones that talk about technology a lot. You want to lead off on it?
I think that there is some tech out there. A lot of the really, really new tech is a little superfluous for what we do, especially for guys getting started. What I mean by that is it's not super applicable right off the bat. The big tech you need right off the bat is Quote IQ. You need the CRM. Okay, you just go ahead and go to the app store, download Quote IQ, and get it. It's a great price point.
It ain't worth a damn.
It ain't worth a damn. Go ahead and go get it because the CRM is the first bit of tech that you're going to come in contact with your business. Now, look, some guys will be like, I ain't got a CRM and I've been in business for 15 years. And it's like, yeah, and you have no repeat business. You have no way of touching those customers again and again and again, year after year. That's the big tech I think guys really need to learn. My second one for that is learning like SEO principles and what moves the needle, which I will take away all of the smoke of that and all of the mist for you and make it not mystical anymore. A lot of guys don't even know how to spell SEO. They think it's SCO. It's search engine optimization. Okay. Learning that and getting into some of that technology on the 1 through 5 steps you need to do and not a billion different things that you're never going to do. So I think the CRM's first. The second one is your marketing tech. And then after that, I think you'll be all right, at least for the first couple years.
Boom. And with regards to technology that I'm going to be speaking on, it's going to be more so with regards to your marketing and kind of segueing off of technology. Technology is important because there's a lot of different facets of like Facebook ads, different places on the web that we can kind of spread our brand awareness, get jobs and the whole nine. But really, another piece that we talk about a lot is going to be how to diversify your lead flow. So that way you're not just solely relying on referrals for your phone to ring. It's incredible to me, people that I've met that have been in business for, 5, 10 years that only get jobs when their phone rings because someone recommended them or someone remembered them. It's just like no way to run your business. You know what I mean? Like if you want to leave
the 10-year
everything up
plan.
Wait, what?
That's the 10-year plan. It's like you'll hear that rebuttal, Justin. It's like, well, I've been in business for 20 years and I only do word of mouth. And it's like, do you know how long it takes to get to where you can run a business? And I'm gonna tell you, you're broke. First off, those guys are always broke, but they do have repeat customers. So it's weird. They don't have an abundance of customers. They don't even really have a nice truck, can't afford one, but they have been doing it for 20 years. You know, it's not one of those envious spots that they're in. You know, they're not running a business you'd be envious of, you know? So it's, yeah, I'm with you on that.
Absolutely. And the other thing we're going to look, oh, good, Cody.
Understand the pushback on something like, you know, Quote IQ, talk about that because it's you guys, but pick anything. We use Monday. We use Monday.com. Okay. Love the piss out of Monday. Don't know how I'd run this place without it. We use Jill's office. Okay. Love Jill's office. Pay a bunch of money, Jill's office. And I don't understand the pushback from the guy that is against those things because it's not impossible to argue that these things are no money. Jill's office for us is actually about $100,000 a year, but the other stuff it's like half of my monster rehab budget for the month. And if it just helps you 10%, like what is that? Like there's just, I don't know that. I think it goes to a deeper thing that we talk about a lot where there's no ability in doing it the hard way. There's no ability in digging the ditch with a pickaxe, you know, instead of just like, no, I'm just going to go rent a backhoe. Well, I dug that whole trench right there to get power out there to my outbuilding. And it took me all weekend and I did it well, you're retarded. Like, why are you bragging to me that you're doing it the hard way? And a lot of that is just our upbringing is we like to do it the hard way. There's no nobility in doing it the hard way. I'll tell you, I'm that guy. I did it stupid. I did my whole first 2 years of full-time washing on a legal pad like an idiot. Now, the only reason I did that is because I wasn't aware that there were things out there. Like at the time, there were other CRMs out there. We used Jobber, I think, in year 2 for about 2 months. And I was like, this is not really that helpful, but I tried it. You know, I mean, I just don't understand why, guys. It's a lot of what we're going to teach you at Washcon. It's, yes, we're going to show you the thing, but it's a mental shift. That's what we're trying to do is show you guys a different way of thinking so that you are at least open. We had a guy ask yesterday if he could get a sample of a Kim. What are you talking about? It's
an ice cream shop, cuz.
This ain't Baskin Robbins. Get you a jug. They're so broke they can't afford to even take a chance on something. And so when we're talking about these things with technology, it's like, man, run it. See if you like it. If you don't, you can stop. It's okay. You're not saddling up to a 20-year contract. So it's a mindset thing for a lot of guys.
They can't, and I think we not have it work, right? Like in their mind, it can't not work.
Right.
And it's like, well, first off, you know, with the Kims talking about your stuff, Cody, it's like, I know, because I've been with you, how much you test. Like they haven't seen the 8 months prior to even mentioning the Kim exists. Like 8 months ago, Oxnox was born. They didn't know that. You've been testing and testing and testing. And it's like, don't be disrespectful. Buy a jug and see what we've been showing you. It's like, you got to get your mind right on your money.
It'll keep you broke.
It will keep you broke.
I like the mental shift here, Cody, because you made a great point, right? Like people take pride in doing it the hard way and getting a good deal. And I think we've all evolved from taking pride in doing it the hard way and getting a good deal to now we do things easy and we pay full price. Like it's a complete evolution of, you know, basically our upbringing to now. But
yeah. And look, if you're just starting out, you probably can't afford to do that right off, but at least start thinking that way. Like there's nothing wrong with doing it the hard way if that's your only option. But what we know is this industry is so profitable. You can basically immediately start picking up some of these tools that'll help you scale, help you quote customers, help you retain their data. I mean, it's just a no brainer, man. It ain't no, it's like a smart stream, you know, watch. What, dude, do you want to walk 10 miles a week? I mean, I ain't against walking, but what that means is let's do 2 more jobs a week and not have to go back forth to truck. So these technological advancements, both on the equipment side and because there's some stuff coming on the equipment side that's pretty crazy. So on the stuff that you can put on this tool and the stuff that you can put on the back of that truck, just get the stuff that's going to move the needle. That's what we're saying.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to hop on the internet. Just one more thing with regards to the guy. Okay, he has a hauling business, so he hauls dirt and stuff. And I was like, how do you get all your customers? And he's like, word of mouth and just all my other customers. Dude, I just can't imagine. By adding in multiple ways of getting customers, of acquiring customers, you can raise up your lead flow. You can start raising up your prices. You can start dumping off some of those price shoppers who always want the deals. Like, these things really start moving the needles in your business. But if you don't come to a Washcon, if you don't watch these kind of videos, you'll never hear it. And you'll drop into this mentality of, oh, I'm going to give him a good deal because he's a first timer and then he's going to give me a lot of work after that. You know what I mean?
How many times has that worked out for you?
Like, I know a lot of people.
I know a lot of people.
Like P.T. Barnum said, when it comes to real estate agents, there's a new sucker born every minute. I'm gonna tell you how many times I've had a real estate agent tell me, "Now you give me a good deal on this one. I got a lot of people I'm gonna plug you into."
Go ahead, boy.
I'm gonna tell you, I did that a whole one time and never heard back from the guy.
And then you just get screwed on the one deal. So,
dude, yeah, you got screwed the first time, and he's like, "I got me another dumb washer."
Yep.
You don't watch videos like this and come to Washcon. You're never gonna know that kind of stuff. Like
George Bush said it best: "Trick me once, shame on trick. You can't trick me more than once."
Can't get fooled again.
I think Joe Biden said something similar to that one time. Let's get into number 4 that's going to keep you broke forever. This one's team. Cody, you want to touch on building a good team around you?
Yeah, so if you get these first 3 right, you'll start making some serious money. And at that point, you will outgrow what you can get done in a day. So how many hours are there in a day? There's not 24 because you can hire more people and you can actually buy hours. So that's what we're doing. We're going to grow a team. Now, for a lot of guys, it's going to be in Mike's world of getting off the truck. That's kind of Mike's whole shtick, is running it, off the truck, an off the truck business. But you can't do that without the right team. And so you got to start growing your team members. Now, we're from number 1, 2, and 3, your owner operator. Number 4 and 5 here, you're making some transitional moves. This team building is setting the chessboard up for you to not have to go out and do the physical work every day. If you want to run more than one truck, you've got to do that, because unless you can do something I can't, you can't be in one place at a time, only one at a time. So you've got to start layering in the team, right? Hiring that technician, getting them trained up. And so that's kind of a second phase of business.
Right. And it's something you guys are going to learn a lot about from Cody, who's got a huge business, $10 million this year. Mike, who's hired a lot of employees. And I know Aaron's even hired people into his business as well. So,
and look, you're not going to be able to hire everything done. Okay. Some of these things you can strategically farm out. And if it makes sense to farm it out, farm it out. Like, we get hundreds of calls a day, and people, I've seen this so many times, because they don't like the fact that they call and get Jill's office. And you know what? I don't care that they like that or not. In an ideal world, I would have 6 people sitting in here answering the phone. They'd all be trained on everything washing. That would take 3 years. So I don't know how I'm supposed to pull all that off and have this, they just get paid magically. No, we can't do that. Like, literally can't be done. So I do the next best thing, which is hire the thing out. The third best thing is us fielding the phone calls here. And we found out that don't work, because you're going to talk to somebody 27 minutes on the phone about, hey, I got some questions. That's code for me for you're going to waste a whole lot of time. So we hire out an answering team. Now, we spend a ton of money, $8,000 to $10,000 a month. You guys ain't going to spend near that. It's basically peanuts for a wash truck. but the mental sanity that you buy back is almost priceless. So little things like that can be part of your team, right? They're sort of part of our team. Now I've got people working here. We've got 12 people working here. If you're on a wash truck, you really want to get a team going, or at least have some people in mind that you can start farming into that team environment so that you can grow the business. If you want to grow it, you may want to stay lean and mean, and then you don't need a team, but you're still going to need some people to help you, accounting, HR stuff. If you're in some of these communist states, and you even take a helper out every once in a while. I've seen a picture, I screenshotted it. Let me show you guys this. So I ain't trying to throw the old boy under the bus, because I kind of, let me see if I can crop him out. Yeah, okay. This photo was, I screenshotted this yesterday. Can y'all see that?
Yep.
What's wrong with that?
OSHA violation.
A huge one. He's 10 inches from death, and this is an employee. If this guy falls, there went that company. So HR, that can be part of your team. There's things out there now that you can farm that out. You don't even have to have an in-house HR person. There's a company called Bambee that'll do HR for you. So team building it's tough. I'm pretty good at it. Me and Aaron talk about this all the time. Like Dusty, not good at team building. He doesn't have to be. He's good at things I'm not good at. Aaron, if he was running Southeast Soft Wash, just the personality type, probably not good at team building. I'm okay at team building. So it's one of the things, thank God, that I can kind of, how do you get people to want to come to work, right? There's more that you got to do than just pay them a lot. And we do pay them a lot, but you got to have an ability to do that. And if that's not something you can do, start working on those skills.
Yep. And just from a call team perspective, dude, the call team is like invaluable, from the marketing calls that they block out, but also like I was helping out a mobile detailing business over here, and they were constantly washing cars and stuff. And so they never had an opportunity to answer the phone and give a quote. But at least when that person calls in, they're heard, all their information is taken, and they feel better about the transaction.
Well, think about this. Like, if you guys, I know you guys are working on some stuff in Quote IQ, but you can instruct your call team, if they get an inbound call, to actually walk them through getting them scheduled.
Yep.
Like, dude, if you did 3 of them a month, like that's a ton of money right there that you just would have never even, it just would have came and gone, and you wouldn't have even know you missed it.
Right. Exactly. And then that's a lot of people's complaint. I know you guys have probably heard it before. Like, we called a bunch of companies and didn't hear anything back from anybody. People get it all the time. And it's because these business operators don't know how to delegate things like answering the phone. As simple as that could be. Imagine Walmart's calling you to clean the building and stripe the parking lot, and you missed the call and you're like, oh, well, I missed it. They didn't leave a voicemail. Oh, well, it's,
Yeah. Then you get to say, yeah, I tried pressure washing. It just didn't work for me.
That's right. That's right. And so it goes back to the opportunity cost, right? Like what Jill's office, like, I'm not paying that for somebody to answer the daggum phone. What happens to the $20,000 of jobs that you lost because you didn't have somebody that answered the phone? So, hey, look, we could talk to her blue in the face. The last T, Cody, is transition. You want to touch on that one?
Yeah. I'll hit it. I want you guys to talk about it too, because I don't want to hog all the airtime. But transition's the phase that I'm in, where I'm transitioning from not being a treadmill operator. And look, when I started the company we'd been in business since '85 with my dad, but when I went full time in 2017, Dusty came on board with me a month later, February of 2017. We kind of just had this unspoken agreement, this understanding that, like, look, we're going to saddle up, and we are going to work our collective asses off for about X amount of years, right? Whatever that looks like, a ish amount of years. And then hopefully, if we do it right, we'll be able to kind of come back to a third gear setting and just kind of do our thing, right? Now, I'm able to not come up here to the shop. If I didn't want to come up here for a month, it would still do what it's doing. Like, I'm just up here because I want to be up here and all my tools are up here and I'm tinkering, but I don't need to be up here. And it is this year, past spring of this year, kind of getting some final things figured out with just daily stuff, getting a general manager who's up front right now handling business. It is like I'm semi-retired, and I'm making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and I ain't really got to now I'm not saying that I'm going to take my hands all the way off the wheel, because you still got to inspect what you expect. But that's the goal, is transitioning from a treadmill operator to a pathfinder. What that allows me to do is now I've got the time to go out and work on other projects that can move the needle for the company to the tune of millions, instead of getting caught up in the minutia of everyday operations. Sometimes that looks like sitting on the back deck with a cooler full of Monster Rehabs and 2 cigars, and that's work. Like, I'll cook up an idea, like literally conjure one up that could be a flop, or it could be several $100,000 a year. But you got to get to the point where you can make that transition so that you can even have the time to think about what you want to do next. So it's a good place to be in, but you can't do the last one unless you've done the first 3, and especially number 4.
Absolutely. Aaron, you want to talk about transition at all?
I'll
touch on it real quick. I have a couple.
I'll tell you. Go ahead. I'll wrap it.
You see it with the biggest guys that come into the inner circle, the guys like Tyler Starkey and Ben Wilson and the guys that come to Washcon. There's levels to the game, right? The first level is I'm working a job. I want to get out of it. I want to do something for myself. Okay. And so somebody will say, okay, well, I want to start a business. And so they come in, they start watching our videos and stuff like that. Well, then once they start building the business, once they start taking the courses, coming to Washcon, doing those kind of things, they start scaling and expanding to the point where their capacity with the business is, they've reached their capacity, and then they reach another transitionary phase where they want to step out and they want to go up and bigger. And I think that's what this point is. We notice it with the biggest people, and we notice it also with ourselves. But basically, if you reach this transitionary phase, you know that you're doing something right in your business.
It is true. I think there is definitely personality types who excel better at the delegation process. I am not one of those people with humans I can see. I've had to learn that. Like, I'm very good with virtual assistants and people I hire that who do tasks daily that I've never met. I'm not great with like team building in the building. Cody is excellent at that, way better than I am. But I do have certain things. I'm really good at delegating virtual assistant stuff and giving them a task list. And I think what it is you have to figure out how to get in where you fit in. There are some people who are very successful with lean and mean pressure washing businesses who only do high ticket. And I work with one here in town, and he has himself, he answers his calls, but he makes a lot of money every day, and he does the work, and he's got a CRM. He's got everything. Everything's dialed in. It is a luxury, almost concierge service. And so what I'm saying is that you don't have to aspire to having 10 trucks. For some of you guys watching right now, the thought of that is completely overwhelming. Some of you guys have just asked questions like, how do I get my LLC set up? And so transitioning is something that I think you need to check your oil down the line and see, is that something that you want to do? How do you want to get out of this? If you want to get out of it, do you want to sell the business? If that's the case, you definitely need to be keeping very detailed records of everything, of all the assets and everything. But what we're trying to convey to you here is that you need to just recognize your knowledge gap. We do every day. A lot of people don't see that. And that's what Washcon is going to be. It's going to be you recognizing your knowledge gap. And what I'm saying, like, we do this every day, is for our valve, we probably spent $170,000 just in the beginning, and threw away 70. Scrapped the 70, throw it in a ditch, set 70,000 on fire. It was gone. Okay. And so when we're talking about learning experiences, I know Washcon is very cheap in reference to that, but I do want to urge you to understand that we're practicing what we preach in a much bigger manner than we're talking to you right now. And it's not, we could go on and on about that, but that's not applicable to you. What we want to do with you guys watching is we want to clear the next 3 to 5 steps of profitability, lean and mean style. Wherever you are in your business, there are a few, probably 2-3 nuggets that can really unlock this thing for you. And at Washcon, that's what you're going to get. Okay. You are going to sit with us. You're going to see us. We're going to talk about your business. That is what the event is. It's very personal. We're at roundtables each of the core 4 are at different tables, and we'll have time together, and then we'll switch tables. And so it's a big long day. It's a lot, and you're going to have your notes ready. You're going to have your questions ready, but understanding your knowledge gap. Like for me, I know I'm not a great delegator. I'm not a great team builder, but I am a mean sumbitch for ideas. Okay? I got Scud missiles. Okay.
And that's what we do, man. Like we figure out not everything are you going to identify, hey, I ain't real good at that. And not every time are you going to come to the conclusion that the answer is for you to gain that skill. Sometimes you may say, well, hell with it. I ain't got the time or the mental bandwidth to gain another skill or the inclination. But you know what you can do is you can link up with another section of shoo-shoo train that is really good at that. Like Aaron's helped us so much with the e-commerce side. Like it's millions, guys, in e-commerce that look, 2 years ago, I'd look you square in the face and said, I don't know nothing about that. And I ain't going to, because I know it would be too long of I would lose other apples trying to pick up those apples. So the most logical thing there is to just grab another person, right? Make it make sense for them. Like they're gaining, it's a win on both sides. So you're coupling together. And you see that in the core 4 here. We're all very different, but we all are kind of similar. But like Mike exists because Mike's got an edge that the other 3 of us don't have. I'm in the core 4 because I'm the equipment guy. Aaron's here because he's the SEO guy. Justin's here because he's the YouTube social media guy, right? And Mike's gleaned a lot. They got the 2 biggest channels. But Mike, how much of that have you learned from Justin that you would have never figured out? Like by the time you figured out that YouTube been gone and done with.
Yeah, probably. What do you think, Justin? Like 2%?
I think this is a good time for Justin to get his credit.
No, I always give credit where credit is due, and Justin has been instrumental in the growth of my channel and kind of the evolution of how I go about things. Obviously, you know, I take some of the things that he has showed me and some of the things that he does and improved on them, because that's what I do. You know,
Justin, and he came and we filmed, you know, how to build a rig. Justin don't know jack shit about a rig, and nor does he need to. Like he doesn't need to. That's not what he's there for. Right. So I think the first obstacle for a lot of guys is seeing it, right? Seeing where your deficiencies are. And then the second obstacle is figuring out what are you going to do about that? Because a lot of the easier ones, it just does make sense to learn those skills. And, you know, it's 2 weeks worth of study, do some reading, and you can kind of gain a skill. But for these bigger ones, like, bro, I can't go back and rewind 10 years and become a SEO guy. That ain't gonna happen. So I'd rather just pair up with that guy. So some of you guys need to, number one, you've got to be honest with yourself about what you suck at. I talk about this example a lot on these videos, but going to the range and practicing what you're already good at is not going to get you any better. You need to go and draw from your weak hand and reload, because you ain't no good at that. But that's the things that's going to make you better when the gunfight happens. And we use that analogy as business. When the time comes, you're learning what you need to practice on. So you're always going to default to your level of training. You will default to whatever skill you've mastered will become your default setting. So I'll give you an example for me, and I'll stop talking. Aaron, is Cody very good at customer service?
Cody is about as good as Mike.
Hey, that's where I just jumped off because I was dealing with something.
I think actually Cody is probably one of the best I've ever seen at customer service. And here's why. We had a guy comment this on the page today. He said, Cody doesn't just allow anyone to come at him like they want to. Like a lot of companies out there, you can cuss them out. You can dog cuss them, cuss their mom, say whatever about their products. Cody is going to honor the deal. What he sells works, bar none, because it's been tested by the man himself. But do not bring no bullshit to the doorstep, okay? You will regret that day. And I personally think that edge is needed. I'm glad that we're a part of that edge in the industry, because for years it's just been cuckoldry. And it pisses me off, frankly. It's like, the customer's always right. It's like, no, most of the time the customer don't know shit about what they're talking about.
Usually they can go to hell.
They don't know. They actually don't. They're talking out of their ass, and they should learn, but they should not speak like they know. That's the issue. If you don't know and you say, hey, man, I don't know, I'm really interested in learning this, that's a different tone than acting like you know. Yeah. And coming at a guy who's been in the game for over 20 years. I think that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not the guy to ask, is Cody good? Because I've seen the best of both sides, and I think that edge of running off the riffraff, because I did that with my pressure washing customers. Do not bring no low price bullshit to me. I do not care where you can get it cheaper. Do not care. Actually prefer you go with them. Will not take your money. You've lost the privilege of working with me if you mention it, right? It's almost to the point where some people would say, well, that's kind of egotistical. Take it as you will. I don't care if it offends you or whatever, but I don't run my business as if you're doing me the favor. Like, yeah. I've built this in a way that I'm doing you the favor because I give that much value.
Right. And I just got off of the phone with a gentleman who we were having a bit of a discussion as far as a refund goes. And we all know about refunds. We don't issue refunds. Like, we have got so many redundancies in place to where, you know, unless the bottom line was we were not seeing eye to eye. And so I called him and probably started off the conversation the wrong way. I asked him if he was slow. And that, of course, probably not the best customer service. But again, and he says, is this how you talk to your customers? And I was like, You're goddamn right. I'll talk to my customers however I want, because I don't necessarily need your money. I need everybody's money, but not yours specifically. So I've got no problem, just like Aaron saying, bye-bye, you've lost the right. Now, this gentleman, after a heated conversation, if you will, we did come to the conclusion that he was wrong. And that's all I wanted him to admit, that he had made a mistake. And he did. He purchased something mistakenly. And I refunded him the money. And I apologize to all on this call, because, you know, that kind of cuts into our bottom line. But I did do that because, you know, after the discussion. But again, you can come at us any way you want. Mm-hmm. But how you're going to get responded to is all on you, right?
But we need to start that, guy. Mike. Like, that needs to be a part of business now. I really hate it for restaurants. Yeah. Restaurants just get destroyed. I'm talking about most of the people who leave reviews. You can look at their history and they only leave bad reviews.
That's all they ever do.
And it's like, how is that allowed for you to just, like, everybody can't be bad. Like, right. It eventually comes to be a you issue. You see, but they're allowed. I hate that the negative voice has been given power, right? It's like nowadays you can just call anybody a racist and apparently they're a racist. Yeah. And you can get doxxed. And that was like all of 2020, right? And apparently the people, like, I see it with some of these country music guys on this note of customers and people and just the accusation winning over. It's like you're guilty before being proven innocent. Right? You don't even get a chance. And so for me, what happens, and I think the Core 4 resonates with this with our businesses, is that no, we're coming back. We're going to shoot missiles back. We shoot back. And I think it's better to be willing to wage war in that regard, because it will, how do I say this? It makes a lot of people think twice before they want to come and accuse you of things. And it kind of shuts down that mentality. I kind of find it as my duty to do that. I think too many businesses cave to customers who are wrong, and they will take advantage of you every single day of the week and think not twice about it. Right. They will.
I do want to say this. This is the reason why we have so much lead flow. If we were in a situation where we had a one spot in a shopping mall where we only got drive-by traffic to stop by and say, hey, we should go there, we'd probably be in a different situation. But we have figured out a way to get infinite lead flow. Like our lead flow is only limited to the amount of people that we could touch through YouTube videos. So when you get to a point where the lead flow is where it is, you don't have to worry so much on an individual basis about customers. And
well, and this also goes back to what Aaron was talking about like the negative, the reviews, right? And that they think that that's some superpower that they have, that they can hold over a business. Well, in my opinion, if you leave me a 1-star review, I don't fucking care. Leave me a 1-star review, because I'm going to have 400 other 5-star reviews. And
Right.
if there's a customer that reads one star review out of 500 and they don't choose to go with me, good. Go away. Go find somebody else, right? I don't care.
Here's on the chat, and Cody, I'm gonna let you continue, but I want to get the guy's mind right here, because this is money. This is money shit. When you can think about your business like this, that, like Justin said, you have so much lead flow that it's almost like all the pretty girls are coming at you, which is the money, right? All the customers are coming at you. You're like, nah, not you, not you, not you. You ain't hurting for it. All right. So they all want you. And if you're not, the only way to not hurt for women, AKA money in this regard, I'm talking to a lot of dudes here, but it's the beautiful girl. You got tons of them coming at you. You can pick which ones you want. You're like, a lot of you just need to get out of my house because y'all are taking up space and you're eating my food. So get out. You can choose the ones you want. And that's how you have to be with your lead flow and your customers. And that's why we teach what we teach with marketing, to create a pipeline to where you can choose only the best people who want to pay you the most for your pressure washing services, who are the easiest to work with, who leave a check under the mat and they're not even there.
Yep.
That's the point. The point is not working for everyone. Not because they're bad people, not because we don't give everyone a fair shot, but some people's attitude is just off. Yep. Some people just want to have a bad attitude, and you're the next contractor they're going to take it out on. And so something might be broke around the house before you get there. Well, turns out they accuse you of it, right? It's those customers. But having an edge like what we're talking about, you weed those people out from the beginning. As soon as they see my contract, bro, they ain't getting through with that. They do not want to sign that contract because my contract absolves me of any of their bullshit they would accuse, right? There's layers to this psychology, guys. And really what we're trying to do, and at Washcon we will, is push this mentality upon you to create what is called abundance. And once you become abundant, nothing can touch you. Nothing can touch you.
And here's the rub. When you get to that point, you get to the point Mike's at, you get to the point we're at, we've got 500 and something 5-star reviews. Here's how you know that you ever get imposter syndrome? Like Mike's saying, I basically can't be heard. The lead flow is so big. It's an abundance scenario. I still do the right thing when we ever are in the wrong. I'll do the right thing when UPS was in the wrong, because I'll say, I got it. Don't worry. Got you another case on the way. Whether UPS honors it and fixes it on my side or not. So what that lets me know is I was always doing it for the right reason. If you're only customer service oriented because you fear the negative review, do you really care about your customers? I know I care about my customers, because as long as they don't come at me any BS, I'm going to take care of them, because the obligation isn't to the customer. It's to me. It's to the integrity of that logo right there. It's so that this company on 59795 Highway 22, when I go to sleep every night, I sleep good. Because I'm not only doing it because I fear the negative. The negative can't hurt me. Give me a negative, it can't do nothing to me. I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I know I'm doing it to the best of my ability.
That was an excellent analogy, Cody. And me and Mike take that same thing on with Quote IQ, like with support tickets. Like, dude, it'll be the weekend sometimes and it'll be late and we don't have to answer a support ticket. I never have to answer a support ticket if I don't want to, but I want to because it's my product, it's my brand. It's, we put everything behind this. So I completely agree. Do you really have good customer service if you only have good customer service because you fear the bad review? I love that. That's beautiful. Anyway, do we want to conclude on that? Are you guys good with that?
So
grab your tickets to Washcon Live. 78 days away. The core 4, all of us going to be there.
Look,
I want to make one more note. Dude, we have grown so much over the past 5 years. How much would you pay 5 year ago you? How much would you pay to talk with today's you? I mean, dude, like
shit, 5 years ago, man, that was a rough time for AP.
It was. And like, imagine like these guys don't know it yet because, you know, but like I can only, the things that I've learned in 5 years could absolutely completely change my life 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As long as 5 years ago, didn't have to pay. Right.
Right. Yeah. Cause I didn't have it 5 years
I ain't
ago,
cheap.
but it just goes to show, man, it's just crazy. So anyway, get your tickets to Washcon.
I wouldn't give myself a discount either.
Nope, don't want one.
Still don't.
You push this button, it say go. You push this button, it say to hell.
Sweet. All right. Until next time, how's hard get that money, baby.
See you, boys.
Peace.